Welcome to Day History, and we will be talking about Constantinople. Constantinople was the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire from 330 to 1453. It was built intentionally to rival Rome, and it was claimed that several elevations within its walls matched Rome's 7 hills from the mid-5th century to the early 13th century. Constantinople was the largest and wealthiest city in Europe. The city became famous for its architectural masterpieces, such as Hagia Sophia, according to Pliny the Elder. The first known name of a settlement on the site of Constantinople was Lygos, a settlement likely of Thracian origin founded between the 13th and 11th centuries BC. The site, according to the founding myth of the city was briefly renamed Augusta Antonina in the early 3rd century A by Constantine. I founded the city in 324 on the site of an already existing city. It was abandoned by the time Greek settlers from the city-state of Megara founded Byzantium in around 657 BC. Byzantium, the modern Turkish name for the city, Istanbul, derives from the Greek phrase Aistinpolene. Constantinople is still used by members of the Eastern Orthodox Church in the title of one of their most important leaders. Greek settlers from the city-state of Megara founded Byzantium in around 657 DC. Some versions of the founding myth say Byzas was the son of a local nymph, while others say he was conceived by one of Zeus's daughters and Poseidon. Persian rule lasted until 478 DC, when, as part of the Greek counterattack to the Second Persian invasion of Greece, a Greek army led by the Spartan general Pausanias captured the city. Constantine was well aware that Rome was an unsatisfactory capital. Constantinople was built over 6 years and consecrated on 11 May. Constantine divided the expanded city like Rome into 14 regions. From the death of Constantine in 337 to the accession of Theodosius I, emperors had been resident only in the years 337, 338, 347, 351, 358, 368, 369. Constantinople consists of an area approximately the size of old Rome within the Aurelian walls, or some 1400 HB. The importance of Constantinople increased, but it was gradual after the barbarians overran the Western Roman Empire. Constantinople became the indisputable capital city of the Roman Empire. Emperors were no longer peripatetic between various court capitals and palaces. They remained in their palace in the great city and sent generals to command their armies. The wealth of the Eastern Mediterranean and Western Asia flowed into Constantinople during Justinian I's reign. The city's population reached about 500,000 people, however. The social fabric of Constantinople was also damaged by the onset of the plague of Justinian between 541 and 542 AD. In the early 7th century, the Avars and later the Bulgars overwhelmed much of the Balkans. These followed the Arab conquests, first from 674 to 678 and then in 717 to 718. Theodosian walls kept the city impenetrable from the land. Greek fire allowed the Byzantine navy to destroy the Arab fleets in the 9th and 10th centuries. Constantinople had a population of between 500,000 and 800,000. The iconoclast movement caused serious political unrest throughout the empire. In the 11th century, catastrophe struck with the unexpected defeat of the imperial armies at the Battle of Manzikert in Armenia in 71. With the restoration of firm central government, the empire became fabulously wealthy. The population was rising. Estimates for Constantinople in the 12th century vary from some 100,000 to 500,000. And towns and cities across the realm flourished in 992. Most Latin Western European inhabitants of Constantinople were massacred in February 1204. The people rose again. Alexios IV was imprisoned and executed, and Wenceslas took the purple as Alexios of Ducas. He made some attempt to repair the walls and organize the citizenry. but there had been no opportunity to bring in troops from the provinces, and the guards were demoralized by the revolution. An attack by the Crusaders on 6 April failed, but a second from the Golden Horn on 12 April succeeded. And the invaders poured in 1261. Constantinople was captured from its last Latin ruler, Baldwin II, by the forces of the Nicaean Emperor Michael I et Palaiologos. The Latins took over at least 20 churches and 13 monasteries, most prominently the Hagia Sophia, which became the cathedral of the Latin Patriarch of Constantinople. Bronze and lead were removed from the roofs of abandoned buildings and melted down and sold to provide money to the chronically underfunded empire. By May 1453, the city no longer possessed the treasure troves of Aladdin that the Ottoman troops longingly imagined as they stared up at the walls. Gennadios Scholarios, Patriarch of Constantinople, from 1454 to 1464, was saying that the capital of the empire, that was once the city of wisdom, became a city of ruins. The conquest of Constantinople followed a 7-week siege, which had begun on 6 April 1453. Mehmed II ordered that an imam meet him in Hagia Sophia in order to chant the Adhan, thus transforming the Orthodox cathedral into a Muslim mosque. After 45,000 captives were marched from the city, building projects were commenced at its peak. Roughly corresponding to the Middle Ages, it was one of the richest and largest cities in Europe. It exerted a powerful cultural pull and dominated much of the economic life in the Mediterranean. Constantinople was home to the first non-Western Armenian journal, published and edited by a woman. The influence of Byzantine architecture and art can be seen in the copies taken from it throughout Europe. St. Mark's Basilica in Venice, the basilicas of Ravenna, and many churches throughout the Slavic East. Constantinople is also of great religious importance to Islam, as the conquest of Constantinople is one of the signs of the end time in Islam. Constantinople's fame was such that it was described even in contemporary Chinese histories. The Chinese histories even related how the city had been besieged in the 7th century by Muawiyah I. Thanks for watching the video. See you next time.